So let's first have an overview about how EIN only LLC startup business loans work. This is important because you got to have a clear idea about what we're talking about. So LLC lenders offer a variety of LLC business loan options designed for different LLC business needs. For example, you can find loans for your LLC to use for purchasing equipment, financing expansion, buying commercial real estate, or providing working capital. Okay, so when we talk about the loan typology here, you need to remember, boss, that LLC business loans include things like bank loans, US SBA loans. So those are loans that the SBA will guarantee for your LLC. You have business lines of credit. You have equipment loans, invoice financing or accounts receivable financing. You have merchant cash advances. So you can see here is that it's really important to understand that there are several business loans that are available for your LLC. Remember that LLC business loans may come in the form of installment loans or revolving credit. So it really depends on what kind of funding options you're looking for. So revolving credit, such as business lines of credit, lets your LLC borrow up to a set limit. And what happens here is that you can either pay off your balance each month, or you can choose to carry it over. So when we talk about carry over, that's where the whole terms about revolving comes from. Okay, you can revolve the balance. And as you repay the LLC, you can borrow against up to the limit, again, with no need to get reapproved. With LLC installment business loans, you borrow a lump sum of money and repay it over time. The reason why I'm trying to explain this to you is because if you're trying to get an LLC startup business loans with EIN only, no personal guarantee, and you're trying to get a larger amount fast no matter what, you need to understand the foundation of what EIN only LLC startup business loans actually stand for. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that always remember that sometimes because you're an LLC and you're a startup, lenders might look at you very differently. They might think you are risky. So this will mean that what you will have to pay higher interest rates. In some cases, they will want you to repay the loan within a shorter time frame. So instead of giving you 5 years, whatever, they have no idea where your LLC startup will be in 5 years. They will say, listen, we want you to repay us in 6 to 24 months. So those are things I want you to think about, boss. Very important. Now, one thing I want to talk about, so let me give you the steps to getting an EIN only LLC startup business loan. By the way, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate having you here. We're just having a nice convo today about LLC startup business loans, EIN only, no personal guarantee. So, boss, the very first step I want you to take here is you need to figure out how much you need. And my question to you is, how much do you really need? Have you done the calculation? Because I could be asking you the question right now. You be telling me, hey, listen, I think I need $75,000. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Dead wrong. I want you to be sure. Don't think. When I ask you how much you need, tell me, hey, listen, I need 50 grand, and here is why. See, here is why is what I was looking for. I'm not just asking you to respond to my question and not giving me a backup answer. I want you to substantiate why you need that much money. Okay, so when a lender asks how much money does your LLC startup want to borrow, the correct answer is not as much as you will give me. Never say that. Never say that. LLC lenders wants to see that you have carefully thought through your business goals. You know how much your LLC need to achieve them, and you have a specific plan to use the money wisely. Let me just repeat that because I want you to really take notes. This trifecta is really important. Lenders wants to see that you have carefully thought through your LLC business goals. That's number one. You know how much you need to achieve those goals. That's number two. And you have a specific plan to use the money wisely. Boss, that's what I'm talking about. In other words, you're not just sitting around and so that's number three. You're not just sitting around telling everybody, hey, listen, I think I need 50 grand because I've done my research, and I think if I had 50 grand, things will be cool. No, 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 no. This ain't no game. I want you to quit that randomness thinking. Okay, we need a formula. And I'm giving you a formula for success. And I want you to get this LLC startup business loan with EIN only, no personal guarantee right now, boss. So whether your goal is to open a second location for your LLC startup or you want to buy new machinery, run the numbers to see how much those actions will cost. This is the kind of calculation I was just talking to you about. I want you to be prepared, boss. I want you to plan things. Also, you need to calculate how loan repayments will affect your LLC business budget going forward. Very important. We ain't doing anything randomly here, boss. No randomness. No randomness. You have to understand, business credit is a game. Personal credit is a game, and I'm trying to equip you with the tools necessary for you to win the game. I want you to win the game. You need to get that LLC startup business loan. You got to get it no matter what. So, step number 1, you need to figure out how much money your LLC startup needs. Step number 2, you need to decide what type of LLC business loan for your startup best fits your needs. See, the whole thing is that I was just telling you earlier that there is a constellation of business loans for your LLC startup that are available out there, right? But you need to know which kind specifically suits your purpose. See, before I ask you, figure out how much you need. Now, I want you to really tell me, based on those goals that you have for yourself, you got to have a clear idea of what kind of loan specifically you need, right? So, I want you to come with me. I'm going to go granular here. I want to go granular. I want to go detail. I want to go thorough. Let's reevaluate the different types of LLC startup business loans to see which one you could qualify for and which one will suit your LLC startup better. Bank loans, SBA guaranteed loans, micro loans, equipment loans, business lines of credit, accounts receivable financing. Boss, which one speaks to you? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. I want this to be a conversation, not a monologue. I want a dialogue here. Let me quickly talk a little bit about each loan. So for LLC bank loans, so these installment loans are repaid in fixed monthly payments. They can be short-term loans, generally 6 to 24 months, or long-term loans, typically 3 years and up. The only thing is that if you are an LLC and you're a startup, this combo is not really good when it comes to bank loans. You're not going to get a bank loan because banks are risk averse. Unless you have a strong relationship with your bank, you're not going to qualify for a loan at a bank or a credit union for that matter. So you need to actually shift your focus on alternative lenders and online lenders. Those you can be lucky with them. Same thing with SBA guaranteed loans. Micro loans are kind of cool if you're looking to borrow less than $50,000. If that's the case, then you can go on websites such as Kiva and Kiva or Acción. So those will help you actually get the micro loan that your LLC startup needs. Equipment loans, you are luckier. I mean, you actually have you are more likely to get a loan through an equipment loan for your LLC because the equipment constitutes the underlying collateral. So what happens here is that the lender is not really scared about default, because if you default, if you don't pay the loan, they'll just come and repo the equipment. Okay, and you also have business line of credit for your LLC startup. So it's really up to you to see which one you qualify for and which one really suits, actually fits the kind of business purpose that you have. And one thing I want to say here is that, by the way, I want to quickly just remind you of today's topic. We're having a convo about LLC startup business loans, EIN only, no personal guarantee, boss. Okay. Now, so you have the loan typology. So you have listed all the different loans, bank loans, SBA guaranteed loans, micro loans, equipment loans, business lines of credit, accounts receivable financing. The thing is that now you have to weigh your options, right? So when weighing your options, find out what criteria the lender uses when evaluating your LLC business loan application. For example, if a bank loan requires 3 years of business tax returns and you only been in business for 6 months, you'll need to look elsewhere. That's what I was just telling you earlier, right? Banks and credit unions do not like LLC startups. They think you're too risky. Okay, so but if you want to look elsewhere, you want to seek online lenders such as Bluevine, such as Lendio, which is a marketplace of lenders, such as Fundbox, such as SmartBase, Beats to Credit, or you can look for alternative lenders such as Clarify Capital, such as Kalamata Capital Group. You have a constellation. You have a lot of them. Those could be more amenable to you. Okay, so but before you go, make sure that you've done your homework, though, boss, because this is the kind of stuff where I want you to be really prepared, because they'll ask you questions, and if they ask you questions, I want to make sure that you are ready to answer. Okay, so you want to first start by checking your credit score. I know that the title of the show says EIN only. Yes, but the thing is that EIN only is an ideal. So if ideally you want to apply for apply for an LLC startup business loan with EIN only, but in reality you realize that you cannot get the loan with EIN only, then you can see if it makes sense for you to get the loan using your social. This is why you want to check your credit score anyway. And the thing here is that, by the way, when we talk about checking your credit score, make sure that as soon as your LLC startup is up and running, you want to register with Dun & Bradstreet so you can start the whole process of establishing your business credit score. Very important. And so after checking your credit score, you want to put together the required documents. Okay, so things like your financial statements, things like your bank account, your bank statements. If you're a startup, you don't have actual data, you have projected data. So you need to create something called financial projections. So projected income statement, projected balance sheet for your LLC startup. You have a projected statement of cash flows for your LLC startups. So those are really important stuff, boss. And the thing here is that this is where you want to start the process of shopping around for the best loan for your LLC startup. This is important. And so this means that, and the good thing is that you're going to have to watch shows like ours, because we actually, we have evaluated last year, for example, more than 300 online and alternative lenders when it comes to LLC startups. And a great place to look for if you're looking for LLC startup business loan is, for instance, Toro Capital. Fantastic. Now, one question we need to talk about is that, when is it a good time to take out an EIN only LLC startup business loan? Because timing plays an important role. Okay, sometimes it's best to take a loan when you start right away. When your LLC startup is like 1 month old, sometimes it's great to wait for a few days or a few months or a few weeks. It's totally up to you. And the thing is that people say sometimes, well, the best time to get a startup business loan for your LLC is before you need it. The thing is, if you don't have strong sales, if you have no revenue, it's kind of hard. Okay, you need to actually build a little bit of a business model to make sure that you are able to monetize that model, or at least convince a third-party lender that business model is monetizable before you can start applying for a loan. But the thing is that if you have a great business plan for your LLC startup, this is a great start. As we always say, there are two important documents. There are two important blueprints when it comes to applying for an LLC startup business loan with EIN only and no personal guarantee. You need to have a business plan, and you need to have a set of financial projections, financial projected statement. Okay, those are really important. So you can use a business loan for your EIN. You can use an LLC startup business loan to buy assets. Okay, when we talk about buying assets, we're not talking about buying short-term assets. We're speaking about buying long-term assets that will actually add long-term value to your business or help to increase your revenue. So paying cash for equipment, machinery, or real estate ties up funding you need to run your LLC startup business. So as long as the purchases are good investments, using a startup business loan, a startup LLC business loan to buy them makes sense, really. So you can get the loan to also expand your LLC startup business. You can also use the cash to better manage cash flow. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And you can use the loan to help build your LLC startup business credit score, which you should anyway. Remember that the three major credit bureaus when it comes to business credit are Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet. So you want to make sure that you have an entry. Sorry about that. You have an entry in their databases. This is really important. Okay. So one thing I want to say here is that you need to actually be clear about the type of information you feed to those credit bureaus. And as I said before, you want to, at least at the minimum, you want to start by registering with the Dun & Bradstreet so you have a DUNS number. Very important. So let's talk about when you might want to wait before taking out an EIN only LLC startup business loan. And by the way, I want to remind you of the topic we're discussing today, boss. We're having a short convo about LLC startup business loans, EIN only, no personal guarantee. So the thing here is that when we go back to the same topic of timing, sometimes it's just best to wait. Sometimes taking out an LLC startup business loan is not always a good idea. So you should avoid taking out an LLC startup business loan in the following situations. And again, I don't know your personal situation, but I'm just giving you what we think based on our research are bad times to take out an LLC startup business loan. So when you have maxed out your current lines of credit, so using all or most of your available credit raises your credit utilization ratio, which potentially negatively, affects your credit score. So what happens here is that lower credit scores make it harder to get approved for an LLC startup business loan. So you want to take the steps to pay down your existing debt before taking on more debts. I'm saying this because even though we are trying to apply for an EIN only LLC startup business loan, the thing is that some lenders still might want to see that your personal financial situation is clean. Even though the loan is EIN only, they still want to make sure that they are dealing with a financially responsible borrower at the personal level. So that's why you have to make sure that your personal credit is always good. It's also good. Now, so that's the first step. So when the loan itself, when the loan terms do not suit your needs, the needs of your LLC, it's not a good time. So if you can't find a loan with the terms you want, you are probably better off hitting the pause button. Spend some time improving your business, your LLC startup business, and personal credit score. Then apply again if you can actually get terms that are more favorable. Okay, and if you are trying to salvage poor financial management, so it's normal for cash flow to rise and fall in business, especially if you have an LLC startup business. Okay, but if your business has continual cash flow problems, a business loan is not the solution. Without adequate cash flow, you are unlikely to be approved for an LLC startup business loan. Even if you're approved, you'll probably pay high interest anyway and may have trouble repaying the loan, causing an even bigger cash crunch. Let me quickly talk to you about some alternatives. Okay, so there are some alternatives to an EIN only LLC startup business loan. So, and I'm just giving you this because we got to have a plan B or a plan C or a plan B, whatever, a plan D, whatever. Okay, the thing is, if you cannot qualify for an LLC startup business loan, there are some options that you need to investigate for borrowing the money you need for your business. So you can consider a business credit card for your LLC. So if you don't need a lot of money, A small business credit card could be the answer. Okay, getting a business credit card has other benefits. It can help you keep personal and business finances separate, may offer business related travel rewards, and may have useful features to manage your money anyway, such as tools to categorize spending. Okay, so for new LLC businesses, using a business credit card responsibly helps to build a business credit history, which can make it easier to get business loans in the future for your LLC. You can also consider personal loans. So personal loans are generally easier to get than LLC startup business loans and are available in smaller amounts. So you are likely, however, to pay more interest than you would for an LLC startup business loan. So late or missed payments will hurt your personal credit score, and commingling business and personal affairs could cause problems for your business come tax time. You don't want that anyway. We have covered this on other shows. You definitely don't want that. You do not want that, okay? And you can also consider peer-to-peer lending. So peer-to-peer lending sites such as Prosper and Lending Club serves definitely as middlemen for those who want to borrow and lend money. So you apply for a personal loan, which is then funded by money pulled from individual lenders. So basically what happens here is that if your credit score is too low to qualify for a peer-to-peer loan, you can consider actually a lending circle such as the Mission Asset Fund. Okay, so lending circles are small groups of individuals who pool their money and lend it to each member of the group in turn. So this is something you can think about. And also think about individual lenders. So the thing is, I want you to look around in your entourage. Do you have friends or family members who can afford to lend you money? Think about that. You may be able to get better loan terms from them than from a bank. So basically, let me just close to this conversation by saying that, so you have a loan at last, okay? So the thing is that when you really think about it, the proceeds from an LLC NSC startup business loan can help your LLC business survive a slow season, buy essential equipment, or expand across the globe. But my question to you is, boss, what is your purpose? Why do you need the money? Have you thought about it? Have you formalized the rationale? Have you rationalized the use of loan proceeds? Because whatever your purpose, getting an LLC startup business loan should not be taken lightly. Okay, so before you apply for such a loan, I want you to do your homework. And when we talk about doing your homework, I'm not just asking you to say things in theory. I want you to jot down on a piece of paper how much you need, how much you are able to, how you'll be able to repay whatever you are asking for, how you're going to be able to generate revenue in general, and how the loan will help you expand your business. And when I'm talking about expansion, I'm just speaking about several things. Expand your bottom line, expand your customer base, expand your product base, your product portfolio, and so on and so forth. So you got to do a better job. And this kind of job that I'm talking about, the only place where you can do a great job at that is through the business plan. This is why a business plan is pivotal when it comes to getting an LLC startup business loan using EIN only. No personal guarantee, okay? And so please pay attention to the business plan. You need to identify your business goals and how financing can help you achieve them. It's really important. So by taking the time to research the right loan option for your LLC startup business, you basically improve your odds of getting the money you need. And again, if you choose to go with alternative and online lenders, please make sure you call them first. Call them and have a conversation with them and ask all the intel, get all the intel you need. What kind of requirements are they looking for? Okay. How much can they fund you? You want to speak to someone before you complete the paperwork. This will help you a lot in terms of getting the loan amount that you need and deserve. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I was just talking to you today about LLC startup business loans with EIN only, no personal guarantee, how to get a larger amount real fast. So we talked about how how do EIN only LLC startup business loans work. steps to getting an EIN only LLC startup business loan. Okay, when it's a good time to take out this type of loan, when you might want to wait before taking out this kind of loan, and 5 alternatives to EIN only LLC startup business loans. Thank you so much for your attention. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.